Why ain't none of y'all passport bros found a wife yet? Because that's what y'all kept on telling us that y'all was going over there for. We knew y'all was lying, but that's what y'all said. You said you was going over there to get a wife. You said the women over there was more submissive. You said they was more compliant. You said it was so many more of them to choose from than over here in the United States. So why is it taking so long for y'all to find one? I'm just confused. We ain't seen no engagement. We definitely ain't seen no marriages. And we don't even see you with women. So I'm confused. Like, what's taking so long? I just don't understand, right? If it was so easy, if when you go over there, the women want you so bad, why is it you have not found one yet? Why? Because we was waiting on you to bring one back and throw it up in our face, right? And we ain't seen that happen yet. We don't even see you with no woman, period. I'm just curious.
Yo, we need to talk, like really talk. Some of these passport bros aren't just flying out for love or adventure. They are coming back with something way more dangerous than a tan or a tourist t-shirt. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's putting a whole lot of people at risk, especially women back home. So if you've been online at all, especially on TikTok or YouTube, you've probably seen these guys talking about how dating in the US is quote-unquote dead, how Western women are too modern, and how they are flying to countries like Thailand, Colombia, or the Philippines to find traditional women. They call themselves the passport bros, and depending on who you ask, they are either escaping a toxic dating culture or participating in a whole new type of exploitation. But lately, there is a different kind of headlines being popping about, and it's not pretty. We are now hearing about rising STI cases, including HIV, connected to these very same trips. Some men are going abroad for love, that they are bringing back home diseases. Let's roll some of the clips so you can see the vibe they are putting out.
Never thought that I'd be making a video about passport bros and all of their bullshit, but here we are. So evidently many of them traveled overseas to wherever they went, and because of their unsafe behavior, contracted HIV and I'm sure other STDs, and now have returned to the United States. Black women, I urge you, if you are considering dating, if you are dating, even if you're in a relationship, get tested. Get tested, get tested, get tested. Have your man get tested and you see the results with your own two eyes, and then get yourself tested. Life is much too short. And here's another reason. Many of these guys are on the down low. That means that the risk to you has increased exponentially. Get tested, get tested, get tested. Never thought that I'd be making
Nurses talk. Okay. Nurses talk. I don't care if you're a tech, CNA, LPN, LVN, RN, NP, regional nurse, doctor. Healthcare talks. Okay? And one thing what we are now hearing is that these so-called passport bros are coming back HIV positive. So that video that you see these men smiling and gleaming from ear to ear, happy that these so-called beautiful women want them and willing to do any and everything for them, go over there and have any nasty, dirty deed they ever want done, is coming back HIV positive. So that welcoming party is welcoming you to the world of AIDS. They don't want to talk about that though. They don't want to get involved in all of that. But us nurses, we talk. We may not say your name, but situation, yeah, passport bros. Some of them come back HIV positive. What? Are you serious? Yeah, we talk, honey. Coming back over here with shit, with the gift that keeps on giving. If you see anyone with a bottle of Biktarvy in a medicine cabinet, that is HIV medication, I gotta go.
All of y'all baby daddy, boyfriends, husbands, cousins, brothers, uncles, and daddies was all in Cartagena this weekend. I traveled to Cartagena to meet one of my friends who was traveling from Ecuador just for the weekend. It was my first time in Cartagena, and my God in heaven, y'all did not lie about the passport, bro. Baby, I got off the plane. I didn't know where I was at. It was black men as far as the eye could see. I took a little video while I was in the immigration line. They was grouped up and duped up. You hear me? The line was at least 2 hours long to get through immigration. I promise you, and I'm not lying, right hand to God, they probably had 5 women in this immigration line. Everybody else was black men. And I said, oh, there's a story here. I mean, they was coming in groups. The group that was in front of me was a group of 10, bitch. A group of 10 that had came from Philly. How I knew they was from Philly? Because I could hear their accent. I could hear them talking. I was looking at them in line, downloading Tinder. I said, them people did not fucking lie. Now, this is my first time in Cartagena. I didn't know what to expect. I was thinking, I've been to Colombia before. I've been to Cali. But I didn't think that I was coming to the whole fest. But that's what the fuck was going on. And anybody with a peon, any type of peon of a brain could see what the fuck is going on down there in Cartagena. When you walking down the streets, the women is literally pulling on you, winking, calling you pop. They trying to get it. They working. And they paying for it. They down there buying coochie. I was so embarrassed standing in that immigration line because I could just feel the people that's from Cartagena looking at us, because I'm in the fucking line too. They looking at us saying, just look at them lined up to come buy some cat. All the way in South America. Y'all didn't lie. I thought y'all was lying. I thought y'all was bitter because, these black men is out here traveling and they got their passports. And that's why I was just so happy that black men just had passports and they was, seeing the world. No. Them motherfuckers is lined up to go participate. And you know what? I ain't gonna say too much on here. But all I'm going to say is y'all was right. And I apologize. I have never seen nothing like this in my life. Child, they was walking the streets of Cartagena in packs, like a packs of wild dogs, looking for cats. I'm speechless. And it's all ages. From 17 up to 70, bitch. They out there hunting in packs, looking for cat. I was blown away. And as I'm listening to them, like as I'm in these lines and I'm listening because I'm nosy, bitch. I want to listen. I'm listening to them talking about how they travel throughout Colombia and they go to these different cities and they don't like this city because of this and this city because of that. Y'all. I can't believe it. I cannot believe this. I didn't want this to be true, but it's true. Unfortunately, it's true. And one last thing before I go, they all had on these fake chains. You could tell they were so fake because they were so bright. They were supposed to be like silver or platinum, but they was just so fucking bright. They looked like fucking aluminum on their neck. And everybody had these fake diamond chains on. I said, I don't want to be here. That's what I got off the plane. I said, can we bring me back? Bring me to another destination. I don't want to be here because this is a lot.
Now, I don't know a lot about the quote unquote passport bros, but I've heard a lot about passport bros. Very interesting that men from here go overseas to find quote unquote the perfect wife. That's what they say. I knew it was kind of strange that I never see any videos of any men that have successfully gone overseas and found them a wife and brought them back home and had a family with them and all this stuff they say they go over there to get. Now I have found out why. I have been seeing this for a while. Y'all ought to go look at some of these interviews. Allegedly, they are saying that when the men go overseas to find these quote unquote women that are so quote unquote wifey material, it's not about that. They're just going over there to sleep with these women for little or nothing. Yeah, just going over there to sleep with a lot of different women. And guess in the meantime, guess what they're bringing home back over here? The HIV. Yeah. So ladies, if you are fooling with men that are going overseas on these passport bro trips, you better get them checked before you lay up with them. I promise you, this is sad. I really was on the side of the men, thinking that they were actually going over there to find a wife, because they say, we don't listen. We're not feminine. We're too what's the word, y'all? What's the word? I just used it. We're too what's the word, y'all? Too masculine. That's what it is. So they're going over there looking for feminine women that follow directions and listen to what they say, do what they want them to do. And when you say jump, I say hi. Their manners are better, they look better, they're more attractive, they're not overweight like us. But in the meantime, no man has ever came on this app happily married to a woman that he met over there. I should have known something was up. So you just going over there to sleep with women many as you can, laugh about it with your little passport bros, and come back over here with your little nasty disease and spread it all over everywhere. You know what's gonna happen? Y'all gonna have to repent for all this stuff. Come on back home, bring it on back down, and do what you're supposed to do as a man. Learn how to protect and provide the women that are here. Treat these women with respect and decency. You wouldn't have to go way over there, because you ain't going over there to do nothing but sleep with folk. You going way over there to sleep with somebody when you could stay here, be a good man, find you a wife, build a family, and have something. Now, I don't know a lot about
I became a passport bro for 3 reasons. Reason number 1, I didn't want to be a stepfather to another man's kids here. Most of the women in my community, and most of the women that I was meeting and dating who were aesthetically pleasing to me, who I was attracted to, had kids. I simply didn't want to pay for another man's kids. Reason number 2, they all want you to pay for everything. So why don't I just go somewhere else where my money goes longer, stretches further, and I can give them the same exact thing for a fraction of the cost. And reason number 3 of why I became a passport bro is because of the obesity rates. I like women who are thin, who have flat stomachs, who wear their own hair, and who have good shapes. I do not want a woman that is larger than me. I'm not saying that all women here are larger than me or are large at all, but the majority, according to the statistics, are. So that's why I started putting together passport bro trips. And we're going to travel all over the world, and we're going to find women that we're actually attracted to, and we're not going to settle. Because women always talk about settling, and men have been settling for a long time. So if you want to go on a passport bros trip with me and our group, DM me. We can do better.
All right, let me be very real with all of you here. I get it. The dating scene in the West can be very frustrating, and everyone wants something. No one wants to commit, and yet it's become very transactional. But flying across the world for love, or let's be honest, sometimes for sex, isn't the fairy tale these guys make it out to be. And now we've got reports coming from places like the Dominican Republic and Colombia saying some of these passport bros are literally spreading infections and then coming back home and giving it them unsuspecting to women here in the US. And that's very wild, but it's not very shocking. Let me break down why this is happening. Some of these men don't use protection abroad, whether because they trust their partners or just because they don't actually care. Many destination countries don't require STI screenings, and the health system aren't built to handle this kind of exposure. And a few of these men are even traveling while already infected, knowingly or unknowingly, and then spreading it further. And the worst part, women at home are the ones paying the price, because even in committed relationships, if your man is out there cheating or exploring while travel and then comes back acting normal, your health is now at risk. Studies show that 85% of women's STI or HIV risk comes directly from their male partner's behavior, not their own, their partners. That is very heartbreaking. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you care about truth, accountability, and protecting our women and our community. And do me a favor, drop a comment below about what you think of this passport bro movement. I am reading everything. Now, I'm not saying every single passport bro is out here being reckless or spreading diseases. Some are genuinely looking for love, connection, and peace, and I respect that, I won't lie. But let's not act like this is all innocent. There is a power imbalance at play, economic, culture, and sometimes racial. When you go into these poorer countries, flashing your dollars, women may treat you better, but that doesn't mean it's love. Sometimes it's survival. And if you are only attracted to women who depend on you financially and won't talk back, what does that say about you? Is that really a healthy relationship, or this is just control disguised as romance? The commodification of women, the lack of health screening, and the double life some of these men lead is a very toxic couple, and now it's literally becoming a public health issue. Ladies, especially if your man's been traveling frequently to these hotspots and you don't know what he's doing out there, you have every right to ask questions. You have every right to protect yourself and get tested. Use protection. Don't let trust blind you to the truth.
There's a group of men out there that call themselves the passport bros. Now, for those of you who do not know what the passport bros are, as the name implies, passport bros. These are the men typically from the USA or UK mainly. They believe that women, Western women, are a lost cause. They believe Western women are terrible. They are terrible in dating. They are not traditional anymore. They're bad. Okay. I'm going to make a video on this. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. But passport bros, they have a very negative view on Western women. They demonize them. Okay? Now, my take on this passport bros is this. I don't care what you do. Do whatever you want to do. But one thing I've noticed about these so-called passport bros is a lot of them are unattractive. Yes. Now, when I say unattractive, I don't always mean physically. You have some decent looking ones. But a lot of those guys that call themselves passport bros that demonize Western women, a lot of them, they're very unattractive mentally. So even if they look good on the outside, when you hear them talk, once you hear their perspective, you realize, aha, I see why the women don't want you. You're a terrible guy. You're a bad guy. You're not a good person. You're just not. You think that just because you have X amount of dollars, women should be at your feet. I've watched a lot of this passport bro content, and I've noticed one thing about them. A lot of these passport bros tend to be losers that could not cut it in their country. You know what they then do? They go to poor countries to leverage the fact that they are coming from a developed country, to leverage the fact that they have a powerful passport, to leverage the fact that $1 that's in their country is not worth a lot. They go to countries like, Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, Colombia, Venezuela, Brazil, mainly to find women. And a lot of these guys that call themselves passport bros, they tend to have a creepy aspect about them, because they always claim that I want to take a woman who's traditional, but they always go to poor countries. And not only do they always go to poor countries, they always go to poor countries and go to the poor women. They always go to the poor women in the poor countries. Never once do I see them go to universities. No. They never go to universities to try and talk to girls. They always go to the red light districts. They always go to the villages. They go to places where the women are desperate for money. That's what they do. They go to places where the women are, in general, looking for a way out. And they focus more on the looks of these women. So when they complain about Western women being terrible, a lot of them are complaining because the Western women that they're complaining about that are bad and not traditional are not tolerating their crap. Are you emotionally available? No. Do you have a healthy mindset? No. Do you have a healthy mindset on women? Absolutely not, as a man. So what do? Instead of the passport bros to work on themselves and fix whatever issues they're facing, it's the women's fault. They take their passport, they go to a poor country, In Asia, they go to Vietnam, Philippines, Thailand. Very rarely will I see them go to Japan, go to Singapore, go to countries that actually have a lot of development. China even. It's always the objectively poor countries compared to the other Asian countries that they go to those ones. And same thing in South America. Brazil, Colombia, which other one is there? Jamaica for some, And when they go to these countries, they always go to the poor regions, red light districts where the women are looking for a way out. So those passport bros are creeps. You're creeps. You are creeps. Now, I'm not saying you are wrong that dating has changed in the West, but I still believe if you are a decent looking man and you have a decent mindset and you are focused on the right things, you will still have success in dating when it comes to the West. So a lot of these passport bros are creeps. They complain about Western women, but at the same time, they fly to Eastern Europe too. Eastern Europe, Asia, Latin America, to the poor countries that need money. And they don't go to universities, they don't go to work functions to try and talk to women that are educated. No, they go to red light districts, they go to poor regions, villages, and try to pick up women, say, I'm looking for my wife. Oh, please. Are you really looking for your wife, or you're looking for somebody to stunt on because you have the money? If you take $1 to a poor place, it's worth more. You also want to leverage the fact that you are coming from a Western country. You can use that as a stick, as a carrot. You know what I mean? The carrot and stick approach. Wave it in front of their face so that they can chase after you. You are a creep.
So the passport boys are coming back with HIV. Oh, wow. For the people who have been with me through all 6 pages, you already know. You already know how K. Petty Brown started. And I haven't been wrong yet. Out of the 5 times they've had me banned because they were mad I was always right. And if you've been here, you remember I said, once they see all their little shenanigans aren't working, they're going to rebrand. They're going to rebrand into the men we've always wanted. They're going to do all the things, whatever it is, be it get therapy, go to counseling, find a men's group, want to suddenly become better men, and the rhetoric would change to them telling each other to become better men. Stay with me. So the rebrand is on. I have seen quite a few creators who were once the Red Pillar Kevin Samuels people who are now flipped and telling men to do right by women. And I said, when it flipped, they would take our rhetoric and feed it back to us. And now it's coming full circle because the ones who could go over there went over there, wherever there is, kept going back, picked up HIV, and now they're coming back to rebrand for the black woman and pass it on to black women. And watch this, watch this. They're going to see it as a punishment for us not being there where they felt we should be, for us not submitting, for us not being subjugated. They're going to see this as a punishment for us not behaving in the first place. Because had we just submitted and been be traditional, all that stuff that they claimed they wanted us to be, had we just did that in the first place, none of this will be happening. In other words, they're going to take their nonsense, their consequences, and try to turn them back around and make them our fault. Move accordingly. Pay attention.
Look, at the end of the day, the Passport Bros movement exposes more than just broken dating system. It exposes how easy it is to exploit people when money, power, and sex are involved. So here is my question to you. Is this movement really about finding love or just escaping accountability? Let's talk about it in the comments. And remember, culture isn't a cure for character. If someone can't build healthy relationships at home, going abroad won't magically fix that. It just hides the problem behind palm trees and pretty accents. Next time, stay smart, stay safe, and protect your peace. And always remember to stay human.